in your recent podcast, you illustrated some of the highlights from that experience of the IYISF teacher training, which is one of the longest running teacher training in the country. Could you elaborate on what it was about the training that has helped shape your teaching these last couple of decades
Okay.
now?
Um, I believe that the Iyengar Yoga teacher training is the best training out there. And the reason being is it covers a full scope of things. Not only did they work on my personal practice, but we also had to learn, we had 2 quarters of physiology, we had anatomy, we even went to see a cadaver, dead body, to study the human body. We studied the scriptures, so the Bhagavad Gita, the Yoga Sutras, but I think the part that I loved the most, thanks to yoga teacher Jackie Nett, is that they taught us how to teach. And one of the most relevant things to me is that I always remember Jackie said, teach your students as if they were blind. So your verbiage in communicating to your student has to be so clear that they can understand. So I loved all of that, and I especially loved the year of how to teach, because most teachers that I've run into that are not Iyengar trained do not know how to teach. And you can see it when I go to a class and a teacher starts to teach. I can immediately tell you if they were Iyengar trained. It's a whole different level of teachership. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. So in the Iyengar Yoga system, in the last few years, we've moved away from teacher training programs. So there's no more quite the 2-year training, and instead we're fostering more, encouraging more a one-on-one mentorship with senior teachers such as Janet and the many more that have come through their certification system. The institute still continues to offer a teacher education program to support this effort, but no longer offers any kind of certification. The national board, however, IYNOWS, continues is the certifying board, um, and through the mentorship, they are prepared to sit for the Iyengar teacher certification. Do you have any thoughts about that?
I think the teacher training with the 2-year teacher training that it teaches humility and it also teaches commitment and responsibility. And if I failed one class, then I would not complete the program in 2 years. And so I had to be committed. I like that. I think that is important. And when you do the other way around, I also felt that the teachers that just went for certification but did not go through the program, you can see the difference in that too. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say.
I think, there are many who also see what you just said.
Yeah,
And even for myself who did get certified, after different teacher trainings, um, also question that. And this really came from, the mothership of Iyengar Yoga in Pune, India.
mm-hmm.
The family, the children, the daughter of B.K.S. Iyengar
Gita,
was the one, yeah,
yeah,
Gita, who encouraged it, and that's been adopted now throughout the U.S. And there's pros and cons to it. There's still definitely a high standard of requiring that students have already built up a steady practice. So
correct.
so you couldn't just walk in and say, hey, I want to learn yoga and take on teacher training, or,
Right, because just like in the program, I believe it was 3 or 4 years you had to be
right.
studying with an Iyengar certified teacher before you came to the school, which I think is great because it wipes out all of those people that think they're going to become a yoga teacher overnight. And then the next thing you know, they're doing 14 retreats a year. No, you have to work just like everything else.
Yeah, so absolutely. And we still have that expectation that you are committed to the practice. And the as I mentioned, we are still offering teacher education. It's
Right,
just not any kind of 2-year extended program. The
right.
study is more kind of put on you to get through all the requirements with your mentor teaching you through the institute. The program gives you even more of a structure. So we do
Hmm.
still have that. It's just not a 2-year thing. So you can, between self-study, svadhyaya, and also with the mentorship, we are still preparing in a rigorous manner to have
Right.
students ready.